I am here at 30 Rock in New York City to speak with Bob Palladino, who's been mixing Saturday Night Live for 40 years, who in 2 days is mixing his final show for SNL. And I had the opportunity to come in, interview him, and learn how Saturday Night Live's audio is done. I'm super stoked about this. I've never seen anybody ever do this before, so let's go up there and check it out.
You know, I think adrenaline plays a part because the activity is at such a high level that it's just go, 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 and you really don't have time to be complacent about it. It's got to be adrenaline. When I'm home, I don't stay up till 1 o'clock in the morning. I jokingly refer to it as, people say, how's it like working on Saturday Night Live? And I said, well, it's hours of relative calm punctuated by moments of sheer terror.
Okay, I think that this is your home, right?
Yeah.
Amazing. I've always thought of this particular show as being just controlled chaos. Mm-hmm. Basically, was the show as kind of wild back then to mix as it is now?
It's a really good question. It's always been kind of chaotic, only because there are constant script rewrites and constant changes. And yesterday, for example, I looked at the studio map and certain sketches appeared in certain places. And then when they went to mount the sketch, they said, no, it's not going to be over here. It's going to be over there. So that changes the whole sound design, basically. So there's a lot of last minute change like that. That's what makes the show the most challenging, because as we rehearse, there are changes right up until air. There's a production meeting that happens on Saturday night. Each writer will go through what changes there are in the script, and usually they're cuts. So that's another challenge, because what I rehearsed in my book, and I'm looking at it and I'm seeing this speech is cut, this one is cut, this one is not in the show anymore. They've added this person, and that's between dress and air. I think it's probably more, in that sense, more chaotic than I ever remember it, because there's a lot more rewrites and a lot more changes.
How do you manage your stamina?
I guess it's just whatever you get used to. You know, I think adrenaline plays a part because the activity is at such a high level that it's just go, 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 and you really don't have time to be complacent about it, you know? Stamina. It's got to be adrenaline. Because when I'm home, I don't stay up till 1 o'clock in the morning.
So as I understand it, these are your last 2 days with this show.
Yes, that's correct.
What are you feeling this week?
Bittersweet. There's some people that I've been with for so long, I'm going to really miss them a lot. I'm going to have to come back and visit from time to time because they're good people. Some things I will not miss, like I'll go out and have a meal on Saturday, and right before I'm going to leave, I'll get a sheaf of script changes that I'll have to go through and integrate into the book and change that. And then I'll go and eat something. I'll come back to the another one to go through. So all those last minute changes, that I won't miss. I figured 40 seasons was enough. And I feel, and I've said this to my crew, I said, when you know in your heart that it's time to leave and move on, that's when you move on. And I know it's time to move on.
Could you give me a track-by-track rundown of your board? What do you put at the very end of your board?
Well, stuff that I don't really need to access that easily. I have the luxury of being able to move faders around. So if I need something from over there, I'll move it to over here.
Some booms over here.
Mm-hmm. Those are my backup booms. We have a separate cable that, God forbid, something happens to the primary cable, we can plug in and use that. I'm using one layer for the most part. There are times when I've had to use other layers. The desk has 12 of them. I don't go that deep.
Ooh, that's terrifyingly deep.
Yeah. When we did the 50th anniversary show, I used layers. My associate at the time, Ezra Matichek, he mixed this side of the desk and I mixed that side of the desk. So we had 64 RFs, and he did 1 through 32, and I did 33 through 64 on that side.
That show was unbelievable.
Yeah, that was a wild ride.
I bet. I was terrified just watching it. I was like, I know somebody's mixing this on the other side of this.
Yeah.
Incredible work, though.
Oh, thanks.
But yeah, I'd love to just get a rapid fire of kind of how you think about it, just from left to right, all the way.
Let's see. My RFs start here. That would be RF1, and they go all the way across to 16. And then on the B side of these faders, I have additional microphones, some of which I'm going to use today. Here are my booms. I have a reverse, which is the same fader as this. It's just a duplicate, because sometimes the way that the set lays out, boom 2 will be on the left and boom 1 will be on the right. So rather than throw off my left-right relationship, I'll have a copy of boom 1.
And then here, it looks like you've already established who's going to be on which RFs.
Pretty much, yeah. That's going to probably change today with rehearsals. But yes, my opening volley.
Do you primarily focus on being the dialogue mixer?
Oh, absolutely.
Gotcha.
Absolutely. We set levels with the audio tape room. It hasn't been tape within miles of this place for years. The playback room, I should say. So we set levels with the playback room and the sound effects room, and then they do their own show. I leave it open all the time, so I don't have to worry about mixing those sounds. And if there's a level discrepancy, I can get on the PL and say, can you bring this down a little bit, or can we have more of whatever it is? So that takes care of the sound effects and the playback, so I can concentrate on the dialogue.
So down here, what is kind of this general area?
Sometimes there's spill from microphones, like I put the handheld here, and then these are effects returns. This one's going to be a pitch shift later. Here are my DPS machines, which we used to call videotape. There's music room, of course, and here's my applause fader.
Applause mics, that's a big one for broadcast mixers. How do you think about your, in-room mix? I always feel like this one is probably a real tricky one.
Well, I have a secret weapon, and that's this gas pedal on the floor.
Oh, awesome.
Because it's just too much to turn pages and mix and then worry about writing the applause. Because you have to write applause. You can't just leave it in one place, as you know. So I'll set this at 0, and I can probably even demonstrate. Yeah.
Like when they perform, so it can truly look like anything as elaborate as.
So that's my applause mics.
Oh, so you just leave it up, and then you just kind of pedal that.
I've mixed other shows that have an audience in which the A1 does not use a pedal, and there are times when I feel my foot's trying to reach for an imaginary pedal that isn't there, because I'm just so used to it now.
What about this side of the desk? What happens over here?
Here are my DPS machines.
Effectively tape machines, playbacks?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, this is a tone generator. And I have effects returns on the B side.
What else is
all
going on
utility
here?
stuff. The director hot mics come through here because they get distributed. Actor call comes through here. The SA comes through here. You can see these are all cut because I'll never use them.
You said director hot mic. When would you use something like that?
The only time I would ever use it online if it were part of the sketch, but normally it gets distributed, so we have it in the desk and it goes to the various destinations that need the director hot mic. And then on the B side, well actually it's not the B side, it's another layer. I have, these are the start of my audience mics, and they go almost all the way to the end.
How many audience mics do you have?
Between 25 and 30. I don't know the exact number. There are some Shures, a lot of Shures, and there's some Sennheiser mini shotguns, and they're distributed around the whole audience area. I have very light compression on the individual mics, and then a little bit on the main bus. It barely moves.
Really?
Yeah.
So you keep the show pretty open.
Yeah, it's pretty dynamic. Sometimes if the actor is very dynamic or very loud or whatever, needs to be squashed, we'll give him a little squash. We need voice notes from time to time, especially with hosts. I try not to bother the host. We have Scarlett, who's got a great voice this week, so I don't think there'll be any issues. But sometimes they get a little carried away and they get a little quiet and say, can we get them a voice note to speak up? They're pretty receptive to that, they usually do. Left, center, right, left surround, right surround. And there's also a subwoofer hidden back behind the desk.
And then what are these two right here for?
Pre-hear. Make sure I've got the microphone, make sure it sounds good, It's really a QC thing.
But as far as the director, the AD, anyone else, your audio team, where are their voices coming from?
Well, here's the PL system here, and I'm sure you're familiar with these. We can talk to any of the destinations, and it's programmable. Just the A2s come from here. I also have a monitor for the stage manager, so I can try to keep abreast of what's going on when they talk to the control room. Stage manager comes out of here. The audio PL, I have a drop here and out of that speaker there. There's the director, and there's the AD. The boom operators I probably talk to the most, because I'm following a script book and they're not. They get familiar with what the sketch is more or less, but I'll give them cues to this one's coming in from upstage, or now we gotta split it to get to this person, that kind of thing. So they're on PL with me all the time.
Are you doing that over in this area?
I have yet another foot switch that enables me to talk to them.
Oh, gotcha. Is this the mic here that you're going through? Okay.
Well, the other side of this room is the control room.
And you have a few things going on here. I see you have a mirror here, and probably programming.
That's program.
Preview?
Yes, that's preview. And that one is a programmable monitor. I can look at pretty much anything I want to with spy cams. Sometimes if they're working at home base, let's say, and I don't have a shot at home base, I can put that up there. And it's not a spy cam, it's way in the back. And that's controlled by that little iPad back there.
Are there any moments from your career that really jump out from an achievement standpoint where you're like, I'm really proud of this moment or these couple of moments?
I'd have to say the anniversary shows. I did the 15th, the 25th, the 40th, which I'm particularly proud of. Actually, we won an Emmy for that show. The Academy liked it also. And the one that we just did, the 50th anniversary show, I think that was quite an accomplishment. With the 50th, I had a sense of relief because it was such a busy show. I'm proud of what we did with that.
This feels like a terrifying seat for a lot of A1s.
Yeah, I would have to probably agree with that. I jokingly refer to it as, people say, how's it like working on Saturday Night Live? And I said, well, it's hours of relative calm punctuated by moments of sheer terror. It's not populated right now because I took my script out of it. Later on, I'll have a script in here. But I have my certain sketches and then the names of the commercial numbers. So this was a sketch that we did yesterday. I have my notes, the reminder, open the music room. She's on 1, he's on 2. The single numbers are the booms. 14 represents an RF. If an RF is a single number, I may put like 07 or something like that.
And so you are flipping the script and going through the script while this is going on.
Yeah,
wow.
have to.
You just leave it right up here?
Yeah, it's in my script book. Last Saturday, these were the microphones that we used. Like I said, there's a sound on videotape, so I reminded myself to open it there. These are the people who will be speaking on those microphones. This happens frequently. We'll get a script and I'll mark it and everything, and then we'll get it all revised where the entire sketch has been rewritten, or enough parts of it have been rewritten that it warrants getting a new script out. Sometimes they were just write-ins, like here. This probably happened between Dress and Air. This was a write-in. That's, in red would be between Dress and Air. This is a write-in that occurred earlier, 7 p.m. So like I said, it goes up until the last minute. This is what I do on Saturday morning. I write all this out. I copy it. The A2s get it.
What's the Bugs? I've seen it pop up a few times.
Yeah, that's my mascot in life, Bugs Bunny.
Is it? Why?
I don't know. Ever since I was a kid, I was always kind of drawn to the character. So I get these gifts. I got, people give me. This is what I've done so far. This describes what we're going to need for these sketches. And it's all subject to change depending on the blocking and if they add a cast member or take somebody away, it may change. This is a map of the studio. It has my notes on it. It's like you're looking straight down. So this is the home base. Here's the music stage. And then sketches happen all along here and at home base and in front of 3A, 3B, which we call 3F.
Tell me about that photo.
Yeah, so this is, from what I understand, is to be the original SNL audio control room. They mixed music and production in this room. I don't even know what kind of desk it is, actually. I think it's a bunch of Neve mic pre's on the side and everything, which is really kind of cool. And this is the original control room, too, for 8H. And I believe that's Mr. Bill Murray right there. My name is Fred Hedemark, and I am the A1 broadcast sound mixer for Saturday Night Live.
So I heard that the last guy had that for 40 years. What are you going to aim for?
Oh my gosh, let's get through season 1 first. I started in this building back in 2009. I was hired as a staff employee for MSNBC as an A1, worked on the primetime shows, and have gone through basically the entire schedule of what MSNBC has done. I've done the day side, done breaking news, done the large events, done elections. Eventually spent the first 8 years on Late Night with Seth Meyers. And then that was at the point where we decided that it was time to take a step away from it and focus more on the family and get back down to where our roots are. The last time we spoke, on the podcast that we did for Late Night, that was kind of like my swan song and my little love letter to Late Night. I thought I was walking away from this building and never going to see it again. And so out of the blue, I got a text one day from the tech manager of SNL saying, hey, we're starting to plan for when Bobby retires, and we'd like to put your name in the hat if you're interested. And I was just like, this is amazing and crazy. I just never thought in a million years that would even become an opportunity. The only way you can really show if you can do the show is by sitting there and doing the show. So after a few weeks of observing Bobby, it was my time to get in the chair with Bobby next to me and start mixing the show. So started off, not an entire show, but segments of it, and kind of built up from there to where I got to the point where I mixed a few shows by myself with Bobby next to me. But it was a really fun and interesting time to try and put all of my skill set together to mix this thing, because you're not just mixing the show, you're also directing a team, you're directing your booms, you're reading a script, you're using your foot for an audience mix. It was nice to put it all together and prove to myself and also to others that I could do the job. I'm still pinching myself. It definitely still is surreal. You know, when I walked away from 30 Rock, I thought, well, first of all, I was walking away from my dream job because I loved it so much. It was very difficult to do, but never thought I'd have the opportunity to come back again in any type of capacity. And certainly not as, you know, sitting in the chair as A1 for SNL. I definitely feel the gravity of it too. It's a big, big position to be in. I feel just a great amount of gratitude for the opportunities that I've had and all the navigation that everybody has played in my life along the way. Little Fred has not done this by himself by any stretch of the imagination. I've had a lot of help along the way. I met Bobby 15 years ago, and he is the nicest gentleman in the world. He's incredibly open, shares anything that you want him to share in terms of audio, loves what he does. You can definitely tell that from the way he works, mixes, communicates with people in the building. And I have the utmost respect for him, and I just really want to do good by him going forward. And I hope I make him proud.
So how are you feeling today?
Good.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You ready to do this?
I think so.
All right. I see a lot of people coming through, giving hugs, all of that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you have, 16 more hours or something and you're done?
And then that's it.
All right. Who made that shirt?
My daughter had it made for me.
And can I see the back of your shirt?
Sure.
So what does your day look like on a Saturday morning? So right now it's about 9:43.
Yeah.
How does the day unfold here?
Okay. So 10 a.m. I'm going to do mic checks. We'll run through every mic we're going to use for the show. The announce booth. We'll do high level. VT, AT, SFX. I'll check with the music room. The band will start playing at 10:30. They rehearse, and I start putting my script book together, transpose any old notes that I have from the night before, which today are many. And hopefully I get it all done before we are on camera at 12:30.
And then 12:30 all the way till showtime is just rehearsal, rehearsal, rehearsal.
Yes, yes.
Stand by 11.
5, 4, 3, 2,
and roll 11. Track it up.
It's Saturday Night Live with Michael Che. And your host, Scarlett Johansson.
Thank you guys, thank you very much. Finale of season 50.
Stand by to widen and start to widen and widen, and they step upstage. They step upstage. Bowen and Sarah straight upstage. I'm gonna get to Chloe quicker.
6,
Stand by 11, full
5,
sound.
4, 3.
And roll
2,
11. Track, fade
1.
up. Stand by camera 1. And ready 1.
Victorian 2, ladies
and
1.
dissolve and cure and ready 4 and roll it and tape. Stand by camera 4. Chloe 47. Thank you guys. There's so you should see our roadmap. It's ridiculous. And ready 4. Where am I going? D.
D2.
Ready D.
1.
And dissolve D.
Fred,
Thank
how are
you.
luck? Bobby, always the best.
John, thank you. Bobby,
Rick,
thank you.
wherever he may be.
Rick,
Yeah, Bob.
thank you. Crazy. Amy, thank you for all those last minute checks.
5,
Ready, 1.
4, 3,
Ready 1.
2, 1.
And dissolve 1 and cure. Ready E.
10 for her.
3, give me her
9,
teeth. Give me a close up of her teeth. 3, her
7
face.
for her.
E here now.
Dissolve it in.
And ready 3 under. And
Roll it.
ready 3 under. And take 3 under. And ready 2 under. Take 2 under. Ready 2 under. Take 2 under.
40 seconds.
And ready 6 under. And
5, 4, 3, 2, and fade.
and fade. Thank you, everybody. Congrats
you
on
all.
season 50.
Yeah, Bob.
Thank you all. Great season, everyone. And to those that are retiring, enjoy the rest of your time.
Congrats, man. Congrats. Thank you for everything.
Real pleasure to be here.